everybody! I finally have some projects to share with you all. I've been quite busy today just creating whatever I felt like creating. So I do have a couple of things to share with you, but first I want to share a card that I got today from a crafty friend. This is from Jill and her son Tim. Actually, this is a card that's made by Timmy. So he colored the front. And Jill and Timmy, I just want to say thank you for thinking of me at Christmas. I know the holidays can get really hectic, so I do appreciate you sending the card. And this one will also go up on the card garland that we have going. I put it up every Christmas because, you know, I like to share my cards that I get from everyone. So I'm going to hang this up as soon as I'm done with the video. So anyway, thank you, Jill, and I hope you and Timmy have a Merry Christmas with your family. And let me get on to my project share. So the first thing I have to share, I'm going to share with you some more Christmas stuff that I decided to do kind of last minute. I'm hosting the dinner for Christmas, so I decided I would make some little place settings for the family. It's going to be a small group this year, so I use this paper tray ink banner die. You can see it's an alphabet. I just cut the whole thing at one time. And this new paper tray ink matchbox die. And these are all the pieces for the matchbox. I didn't use them all, but I wanted to show you that set. And then, of course, I made some matchboxes. So they are somewhat personalized. Oh, this one came out. I'll have to staple this again. These are the two made for myself and my husband. I use the Target Santa tags as an embellishment. And there's the banner that I cut. And then, of course, I have the matchbox here that holds a Ghirardelli square, chocolate square. So I have some hidden in here, and I'll just put these on the plates as the place setting for each of the individuals. We have 6 that I did make, and luckily for the dinner everybody has a different first initial, so it works out for me, because I don't actually have to put everybody's name on all of the different matchboxes. So there's a C, an L, an N, an H, an M, and a K, so everybody should be able to find their places pretty easily. And I did them all the same. Basically, you use the die, and I cut up the Hobby Lobby Christmas paper that I have, since I kind of used this sort of colors for my Christmas this year. So those are the dies, the matchboxes that I made. And the next thing I have is some cards to share with you all. These are not Christmas. So I have been playing with the new dies that and stamps that I recently got in from Paper Tray Ink, partly because I wanted to try and match the ink colors to the existing the paper that I got in, and the paper was the Pink Posy Bitty Big from Paper Tray Ink. So this was the first card I made. And you can see here it uses the paper, the stamps that I got in from, let's see, Paper Tray. It's called Vintage Linens. So you can see it's a flower set. And this, let's see, this set right here, which is a die set that was just released as well. There's a couple of die sets here. I used the Love. You can see it here, and it's actually layered, a white and a pink. And the pink that I used was actually for the flowers to match the cardstock. This is an Altenew Pink Diamond, I believe it's called. And I just used my water brush to color the Love, the top, what do you call it, top layer. And then this back color here is Altenew in Cotton Candy. And then this is just some green. I don't remember the color of that green, but I was playing around to try and figure out what what color I should use for this cardstock. And the die cut for the actual base is also a Paper Tray ink die cut. It's a card base that's cut to scallop. So the Bitty Big, I've mentioned before, it's double-sided. I haven't put a sentiment on the inside simply because I don't know what I'm going to use the card for yet. I may send it to somebody and I may want to use a specific sentiment for it. So that's the first card I did. And then the second card, I used a couple of different items. I used this this Mix and Matte die. There's actually a middle one here that has hearts, but I didn't use that in this set. I just cut the center part out and used these two right here. And then I used this die. This die is from Paper Tray ink. It's slightly small. Oh, sorry. This one is from Pretty Pink Posh, and it's slightly smaller than the one that comes from Paper Tray. So I used this one, and I also used this actually on the last card and the one I'm about to show you. I use this embossing folder from Cuttlebug. It's called Kitchen Weave, and this is a 5x7 embossing folder. And the stamp set I used is Don't Forget to Write. This is a mini Make It Mark It kit that was available. It's no longer available unless you find it used. So I just wanted to show you the stamp set that I used for this. Stamp and dies, because there's a die I used out of here. So here's the card. You can see I cut the tag and the sending in white, and I stamped the flowers. Again, this is actually a different color ink than the first one, and again, I was trying to match the cardstock from Paper Tray, which is called Pink Posy. So this color of ink is, the pink comes from Lawn Fawn, and that is Ballet Slippers. And then the yellow comes from Altenew, and it is called Buttercream. So I think they both match pretty well. It really just depends on what you prefer. And I think I might prefer the Ballet Slippers over to the Altenew Pink Diamond. I'm not sure. I go back and forth. And in this lighting, you may not, I don't know if you see the difference that I see. I'm trying, the window is open, so hopefully you get more of the natural light than the actual overhead light that I have on. So anyway, those are two cards I did there. And then I switched up sets and started using my new Farmer's Market Florals from Paper Tray. It's a layering stamp with roses. And I also used the new Rounded Edgers dies from Paper Tray. And then of course the cardstock. So there's 3 cards here, and they're pretty much the same because I set them up in my MISTI to stamp all of the layers. And so I did like 2 flowers at a time, and then I just did the leaves separately using a stamp block. So actually this sentiment comes from a different stamp set. I don't know if I have it. Oh, here it is. The sentiment comes from this Lovely Lace Paper Tray set, and it was also a Make It Mark It. This was one of the mini kits, so I think you can still get this one if it's not out of stock. But I used the For a Lovely Friend sentiment for each of the cards, but the roses come from the Farmer's Market Florals. So the first card is again using the Bitty Big paper line. I popped this one up, put some seam binding at the top, and with this I did kind of a fade with the Lovely word. I used both ink colors to kind of fade from light to dark. So I think that's really cute. Again, I did not stamp the sentiment yet because I don't know who I'm going to send the cards to yet. I'm just making cards because I felt like it. So here's the next one, and you can see the different edging here. And then the white part that you see coming out is actually another layer on the inside of the card where I can write my message and stamp the sentiment on the inside. And then the last card uses a different edge. They're all 3 different edges from that Edgers die set. This one doesn't have a layer on the inside, simply because I put this one towards the end, and it has white already, so I didn't want to put another layer in there. I don't know which one is my favorite, but it took me a while to figure out what to put at the top. I kept putting ribbon and didn't like it, and I settled on seam binding, funny enough. And the seam binding, the pink seam binding comes from Stampin' Up, and the white is just some I ordered. I think it is Hug Snug seam binding, I believe. I don't know. But it's just your white standard seam binding. So anyway, those are my shares for today. I hope you enjoyed them, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!